Jai Hind everyone. I am Manita Blish, faculty of Ajay Kumar Garg Engineering College, Ghaziabad in MC department. Today I am going to deliver a lecture on JSP, Java Server Page, which is the important topic of web technology, and um, the topic is beneficial for all BTech CSIT student and MCA student. So, what is JSP? So JSP termed as Java Server Pages. It is a technology introduced by Sun Microsystem uh, in develop the web application in more efficient way than Servlet. So it has basically many advanced features than Servlet. One of them to separate the presentation logic from the business logic and provide a designer and developer of the web application to work independently. So Java Server Pages is basically a technology for developing web pages that support dynamic content, and this helps developers to insert Java code in HTML page by making use of special JSP tags, and most of which start with less than percentile and end with the greater than percentile and greater than symbol. So basically, Java Server Page component is a type of Java servlet that is designed to fulfill the role of user interface for a Java web application. And web developers write JSP as text file that combine HTML or XHTML code and XML element and embedded JSP actions and command. So using JSP, you can collect input from user through web page forms and present record from a database or another source and create web page dynamically. So basically, JSP tags can be used for a variety of purposes, such as retrieving information from a database or registering user preferences, accessing Java Beans component, passing control between pages, and sharing information between request pages, etc. Now, the topic is JSP architecture. So, the web server needs a JSP engine, that is a container to process JSP page, and the JSP container is responsible for intercepting requests for JSP page. Now, a JSP container works with the web server to provide the runtime environment and other services to a JSP needs, and it knows how to understand the special element data part of the JSP. So, this diagram shows the position of JSP container and the Java JSP files in a web application. So we have client and we have server, in which we have web server that is supporting JSP via internet, and all the web server page directly linked to the database. Now, JSP processing. So the following step explain how the web server create the web page using JSP. As with the normal web page, your browser send an HTTP request to the web server, and the web server recognize that the HTTP request is for a JSP page and forward it to a JSP engine. So this is done by using the URL or JSP page which end with .jsp instead of .html. So the JSP engine load the JSP page from disk and convert it into a servlet content. So this conversation is very simple, in which all the template text is converted to println statement and all JSP element that are converted to the Java code. So this code implement the corresponding dynamic behavior of the page, and the JSP engine compiles the servlet into an executable class and forward the original request to a servlet engine. So as a part of the web server called the servlet engine, load the servlet class and execute it. And during execution, the servlet produce an output in HTML format, and this output is further passed on the web server by the servlet engine inside an HTTP response. So the web server forward the HTTP response to the browser in terms of static HTML content. And finally, the web browser handles the dynamically generated HTML page inside the HTTP response exactly as if it were a static page. So this is how the working of JSP processing, and whatever the steps I have tell you earlier, we can shown in the following given diagram. So firstly, we have client, then we have JSP container. So firstly, client connect first client. Second step, we will write any web page, and we have server. Through this, we can content in JSP container. JSP container generate the JSP page, which will return in .jsp. This phase is known as translation phase, And the fourth step will become the we will compile the web page, and then it will convert in class that is known as our request processing phase. After that, we will execute, and then after execute, it will again convert into the go into the JSP container, and then again JSP container will convert it into a JSP page and then go back to the client. And this is how the working of JSP web pages. Now, the question arises: what is the JSP lifecycle? So, a JSP lifecycle is defined as the process from its creation till the destructions. So, this is similar to the servlet lifecycle with an additional step which is required to compile a JSP into servlet. So, the main we have basically 4 major class of JSP file lifecycle that is very similar to the servlet lifecycle, and we have 4 phases. First one is compilation, second one is initialization, and second execution and cleanup. So, first one is initialization. Initialization, that means now I am going to describe these phases in a concise manner. In first one is JSP compilation. So, when a browser asks for a JSP, the JSP engine first check to see whether it needs to compile the page. So, if the page has never been compiled or if the JSP has been modified since it was last compiled, so the JSP engine compiles the page. Now, the compilation process involves basically 3 steps. First one is parsing the JSP, second one is turning the JSP into a servlet, and third one is compiling the servlet. Now, JSP initialization. So, when a container loads a JSP, it invokes the JSP init method before servicing any request. So, if you need to perform JSP specific initialization, override the JSP init method, and the code is public void JSP init, and here we can write any initialization code. So, typically initialization is performed only once, and as with the servlet init method, we generally initialize database connection like open files and create lookup tables in the JSP init method. Now, JSP execution. So, the phase of JSP lifecycle represent all kind of interaction with request until the JSP destroy. So, whenever a browser requests a JSP and the page has been loaded and initialized, the JSP engine invokes the JSP service method in JSP. So, the JSP service method takes an HTTP servlet request and an HTTP servlet response as its parameter. First, we have void JSP service, in which we call 2 methods. First one is HTTP servlet request and HTTP servlet response, and in this we will write the service handling code. So, the JSP service method is of a JSP is invoked on request basis. So, this is responsible for generating the response for that request, and this method is also responsible for generating response to all 7 of HTTP method, that is get, post, delete, and etc. So, execution phase of the JSP lifecycle represent when a JSP is being removed from use by a container. So, the JSP destroy method is the JSP equivalent of the destroy method of for servlet. So, override JSP destroy when we need to perform any cleanup, such as releasing database connection, or we can say closing open file. That time we use JSP destroy method. So, if we want to clean up any code, so we have to write this code in JSP destroy method function. Now, what are the feature of JSP? So, some important feature of JSP are, we can say, in JSP coding is very easy, and reduction code of length is less, connection of database is easier, and we can make interactive website by JSP, and JSP web page are portable, powerful, and flexible, and you can say easy to maintain. No need to recompile, or you can say redeployment, and or in summary we can say it's the extension of servlet. So, in detail, as I say, in JSP coding is easy because it is just adding Java code to any to our HTML or an XML page. Reduction in the length of code means in JSP we use action tag and custom tag, etc. That's why the length of the code is reduced. Connection to database is easier means it is easier to connect website to database and allows to read or write data easily to the database. So, make interactive website means we can create dynamic web page which help user to interact in real time environment. And portable, powerful, flexible, easy maintain means these are browser and basically JSP is service dependent. And redeployment means it is dynamic, secure, and platform independent. So we no need to recompile or redeployment. And extension to servlet means it has all features of servlet, implicit object and custom tag. So basically JSP consists of following component like directive, declaration, scriptlets, expression, standard action, and custom tag. So one by one we are going to cover all these components which we are going to use in JSP. Directive means directive are used to provide specific instructions to the web container when the page is translated. So we have three subcategory. First one is page, second one is include, third one is taglib. Yeah. First one, directive, we have page. So here we write language is Java, extend class name, and import, we will want to import class or package. So the attribute of this is our language, import, buffer size, scope, you request या page या session या application. So page directive is aimed to define certain attribute of a JSP page. For example, language of the page in which the page content should be written, which class to be imported, or so that it can be used with the JSP page. Next one is include. Include means we want which file we want to include. So the syntax is include file and the file name within the double inverted commas. Attributes are file and the file name. So the directive is to include the HTML, JSP or servlet file into a JSP file. So this is a static inclusion of a file, that is it will be included into the JSP file at the time of compilation. Third one is taglib. Taglib means if we want to create use the URL. So prefix means tag prefix means, in short we can say prefix is the alias name for the tag library name. Declaration means declare all kind of variable. Scriptlets means you can write all your script. Expression means expression evaluation and display all the variable. So standard action, we have two standard action. First one is include and second one is forward. So the include means the inclusion of file is dynamic and the specified file is included in the JSP file at runtime. So that means output of the included file is inserted into the JSP file. So the syntax is JSP :include page and is equals to which file we want to include in our action. So this is the syntax of include. Next one is forward. So forward tag means ki it will redirect to the different page without notifying browser. So if you want to redirect any page directly, that time we use forward tag, and the syntax is forward page JSP :forward page and is equals to file name. Next one is custom tag. Custom tag again same taglib URL, which tag we want to tag. Prefix means alias name for the tag library name. So this is a small example of this tag. Now I am going to explain this example of related to directive taglibs. So In body tag, we will print hello and we want to print the current time. So in include tag, we will write new java dot util dot date, means current date which we going to display. This statement we will write in the body tag of our web page. Next page, we will want to print the current date. So the statement, the print statement would be out.println, and what we want to print, that is evaluating date now. So current date. So we will write the function java.util.date, and we want to print date is equals to new java.util.date, and we want to print hello, the time is now is equals to date. If we want to set the border of our web page, that time we use the table border. So the table border, suppose if we have write 2, so it will print the margin of 2, and tr use for printing the row, and td the content which we want to print. So that's why I have write here td, and it will increment by 1. So the value of n would be printed by the user. So what value of n would be written by the user, and it will increment it by the number of 1. Now JSP directive example. So JSP directive, here I want to print, we can use these two with the help of JSP tag. Through tag and through directive method we can print this. So suppose I want to print the, firstly we have to print the page, and the page of my file is, suppose I have write java.util, and I want to print the current date ki aaj ki date kya hai. So for this I have to make the new object of date. So here I have created the date object with the help of new keyword, and date is function, and date is new date. By a new keyword I have created a new object of date, and here I have print the name and the time and date, today date and time, with the help of JSP directive. So these statement code we will write in body tag. So to import more than one item, separate the package name. Suppose we want to import many items, so we have to separate these item with the help of comma. So package name with the help of comma. So suppose I have to import 2 pages like java.util, or we can say java.utix. So here you can say I have separate these 2 packages with the help of comma. So it means is ki we want to import more package, more than one item. So here I have separate this package name with the help of comma. So JSP directive means ki the include directive is used to include the content of another file. Suppose I want to include the content of another file in that time I used JSP directive. So here I have used the going to include hello.jsp in inclusion file. So with the help of this tag I can use, or I can include all the content of hello.jsp file in another file. So JSP declaration means, as the name suggests, it is used to declare method and variable you will use in your Java code within the JSP file. So according to the rule of JSP, any variable must be declared before it can be used. हम कोई भी मेथड जो है डिक्लेयर कर सकते हैं जब बिना before we won't going to use. So declaration syntax, declaration keyword, and which we are going to declare, and etc. We can declare many method and variable in at a one time. So Here's an example. Suppose I want to create a declare the value variable value is equals to 65. So when we'll print this the value of variable value, every time the value of variable would be print is equals to 65. And we can print we can use add variable and method declaration in our program. So suppose here I want to print the date and time. So here I have created the date new object of date via keyword, and the function name is get data. So sorry, get date, and in get date we will return the today date, and if we want to print the time, so we will print the we will make another function that is get name. So declaration is loaded only once at once when the page is loaded. So in the previous example, you can say time is not updated when the page is refreshed. So because at a one time only one page is loaded. Now JSP scriptlet tag. Scriptlet tag is used to execute Java source code in JSP. So the syntax is Java source code, and here I have write in body tag out welcome to JSP. So if we want to execute any source code in JSP page, that time only that time we will use Java scriptlet tag. Expression element are basically responsible for containing scripting language expression while which get evaluated and converted to string by the JSP engine. At the end, it is mean to the output stream of the response. So you are not required to write out.print for writing your data. So basically, this is mostly used for printing the values of variable or method in the form of output. So this is the syntax of expression. So basically we have 9 implicit object available. First one is request, response, out, session, configuration, application, page context, and exception. So the request and response implicit objects so the request implicit object is an instance of HTTP servlet request interface, and response is an instance of HTTP servlet response. So we can say they are available in a similar way to the request and response object passed to the service method in the servlet. So the request object denotes the data included within the HTTP request, and the client first makes a request that is then passed to the server, and the request object is used to take the value from the client web browser and pass it to the server. So this is performed using HTTP request like header, cookies, and argument. Or we can say use of response object is to send response of the server to the client, and the response data denotes the HTTP response data. So the implicit object has a type of JSP.JSP writer class. So this topic we will cover in our next session. Jai Hind. Thank you.